So what happened was the mayor had decided that he wanted to have a community garden on City Hall, so it came from him. And then the city staff worked to design this space, and they put a request for proposals out at the beginning of May, and we responded to that to build and manage the garden. Found out on May 19th, 20th that we were successful, and they had already come up with kind of a layout and design that they had worked on, which we've pretty much adopted here. We've made some minor adaptations. Because it is on City Hall, obviously the city staff and councillors were really aware that it would be high visibility and wanted to make sure that it was being done in a safe manner, but also aesthetically pleasing, and met with all kind of city, I don't want to say regulations, but their thoughts and about how it should look. So there's been a lot of interaction with the staff in the build and the preparation, but they have been pretty supportive. We have one key liaison with the city, which is really important, I think. Deborah Kahn, who's a food policy coordinator, has been our key contact at the city, and she has been great. So, you know, if we need a room booked to have our information session, she was able to book that and kind of work within the city things that we wouldn't be able to access, or if we had a question about something, I could ask her and she could find the answer for me. So it was really important to have that one key person to know where to go to. Because this had come down from Mayor Robertson, the city had allocated some seed funding with it. So when the request for proposals came out, that was also awarded to the successful applicant, which was us. So we also had, Evergreen also had funding at our disposal to help support community gardening and especially the build. So it was kind of a combination of both.
This was basically from the time that we found out that we had the contract. It was built in about a month.
Built and opened, yeah.
It opened June 21st?
20th.
20th,
yeah. So just over a month.
Yeah.
You know, the city did provide us with seed funding, but that's it. So now we're on our own, and you know, we're like any other community garden that's on city property. We're responsible for doing the maintenance and making sure everything is kept up to speed.
Well, and once it's fully completed, it's fairly self-sufficient in itself, and like pretty much the donation that the gardeners make per year will pay for any like little stuff that needs to happen, but like it's just getting everything completed that's really takes the amount of funding.
We are on city property, but we're not a park. This isn't considered a park. So we do have a license with the city, which the food policy coordinator had written for other places, I would assume, that are similar, that we have to adhere to. And then we created our own guidelines, which basically formed a contract that the community gardeners signed. There's no sense in reinventing the wheel, which is, I think, the key thing in community gardening or any kind of adventure like this, is that it's been done already, so take advantage. We took advantage of other community gardens, resources that they had developed, and adapted it to suit our needs. So I think that's a really key point, especially when you're looking at human resource time and funding.
And yes, this is a very nice lawn, but it's a lawn all the same. So this has definitely added something that kind of makes people stop and slow down and smell the roses. In such a urban space like Vancouver, having the accessibility to an area to grow your own food, and like for people to see that, you know, tomatoes don't come off the shelf, they come off the bush.
We want it to be like an urban kind of oasis, basically. An escape from, you know, the noise of the city.
Very empowering, especially like a lot of our gardeners are beginner gardeners, or like watched their mom garden when they were little and haven't done anything but like a pot of flowers since, and it's really incredible to see the like pride and like ownership of this little thing. They're like, oh, my tomatoes are amazing.
Yeah.
The first ripe tomato, we have a picture of a couple who, when their first ripe tomato, they're just like holding it like this. It's great to see that. And then when people walk by, like the gardeners are just as informative as we are. Like they love to tell everybody all about the garden, and they're just very willing to share their experiences, which is really neat to see, definitely.
Yeah, it's very empowering to know how to grow your own food and to know you can do it. Food is going to get more expensive and we're going to run out of oil and we're not going to be able to mass produce things. We're going to have to produce things more locally, and this is a way to try and utilize as much space as we have.